Hi YouTube, Tim Eckert here. In this video we're tackling some more SAT style problems where we're dealing with congruent triangles and corresponding angles. So problem 1 reads triangles ABC. So let's actually try and draw a straight line there. Maybe I can. So A, B, C, let's say this is A, B, C is congruent to, pretend these look exactly the same, to D, E, and F. Okay. A, B, and C correspond to D, E, and F. So A is congruent to D. B is congruent to E. And C is congruent to F. Okay, the measure of angle A is 57 degrees. So this here is 57 degrees. Measure angle B is 13 degrees. And they want to find the measure of angle E. Well, B is congruent to E, so the measure of angle E is going to equal the measure of angle B, so it's going to equal 13 degrees. Okay? All right, let's keep going. If you're trying these out, you might want to pause the video at this point, try it on your own, and see if your solution matches mine. So again, triangles ABC and DEF are congruent. So A, B, C, and D, E, F are congruent. A, B, and C correspond to D, E, and F. So A is congruent to D, B is congruent to E, and C is congruent to F. Okay, the measure of angle A is 72 degrees. The measure of angle B is 23 degrees. Now, normally these would be written inside the triangle, but just to make room, I'm doing it outside here. What is the measure of angle F? Well, the measure of angle F actually corresponds to C, so we have to find out what C is. So we're going to take 180 degrees because the sum of angles A, B, and C must equal 180, the sum of the interior angles of a triangle. So 180 is going to equal 72 degrees plus 23 degrees plus the measure of angle C. All right, 72 plus 23 is 95 plus the measure of angle C. That's equal to 180. We're going to subtract 95 from both sides. (180 minus 95 is going to be 85 degrees, which is going to equal 95 minus 95 is 0, so it's just going to equal the measure of angle C is 85 degrees. Now the measure of angle C is the same as the measure of angle F, so the measure of angle F is going to equal 85 degrees. There you go. All right, let's try another one. Triangles ABC and DEF are congruent. Okay, A, B, and C correspond to D, E, and F. Okay, the measure of angle A is 19 degrees. The measure of angle B is 48 degrees. What is the measure of angle D? Well, the measure of angle D is going to be the same, it's congruent to A, so the same as the measure of angle A. So the measure of angle D equals 19 degrees. Let me fix my degrees here a little bit. Okay, 19 degrees. All right, let's try one more. Triangles A, B, C, and D, E, F are congruent, where A, B, and C correspond to D, E, and F. Let's draw these out. So, let me fix that. So we have A. We could do B here this time and C here this time. Then we got D, E, and F. A corresponds to D. So these two angles are congruent. B corresponds to E. And C corresponds to F. The measure of angle A is 91 degrees. And the measure of angle B is 34 degrees. What is the measure of angle F? Okay, so F and C are congruent, they're the same. So we got to figure out C. So we're going to say 180 degrees, which is the sum of interior angles in a triangle. That equals the 91 degrees plus the 34 degrees plus the measure of angle C. Okay, 91 plus 34 is going to be 125. 180 degrees equals 125 plus the measure of angle C. We're going to subtract 125 for both sides. And 180 minus 125 is going to be 55 degrees. And 125 minus 125 is 0. So 55 degrees equals the measure of angle C. So the measure of angle F is the same as the measure of angle C. So the measure of angle F equals 55 degrees. And there we go. That's all it is to this problem and the other problems. Hopefully this video was helpful to you. If it was, please like and subscribe.